Good morning. Although I know you would be watching this video at any time of the day, but in the morning. But yeah, morning. Today I want to talk about a few topics, not a single one, but they're all interrelated. Some parts of the video might get boring. It's a 22 minutes video. I already recorded the content part. After recording that, I'm recording the introduction part. Anyways, some parts of the video might get boring, but please bear with me like you would bear the Naruto Shippuden filler episodes. Alright? Great. What are you fulfilled by? Because if the things that you are fulfilled by, if the things that you derive happiness from, if the things that you attach your happiness to are the things that are outside of your control, it means that you spend a lot of time thinking about the things that are outside of your control. Which means that if you choose to derive happiness from things external, something that is external, and tomorrow that thing can be taken away from you, was that ever your true happiness? Is happiness something that can be just taken away from you? Or is it something because we attach that happiness to something external? If we actually derive happiness from things that are inside of your control, like with our actions, like with how we respond to the situation, with whatever life throws at us, then that is happiness. If we are happy with how we respond, if we are happy with what actions we take regardless of the situation, then that is our happiness, because it can't be taken away from you, because we're not chasing anything. It is inside of your control. Whatever you do, whatever actions that you take, whatever steps that you take, they are under your control. And hence this happiness, this act of choosing, this act of doing something that is under your control can never be taken away from you. And it's not something that we're born with. It's something that we pick along the way. It's something that we learn how to do, because that sense of fulfillment, like by default, we are born in a state of tabula rasa. Tabula rasa basically means we're born in a state of a blank state. We're born in a blank state, and when we grow up, in our earlier childhood days, we don't know what is good or bad. There is no notion of good or bad, and they're actually taught to us. We are actually born in tabula rasa, which means all of the things that are good or bad, they are usually the things that are taught to us. Which means that society and the people around us, they are the ones who give us the structure that we have right now, and they are the ones who take away this sense of fulfillment, or what we can do with the things that we are in control of. They actually take away that from you. And how that happens is that I keep pausing the video because sometimes I can't remember which topic comes after what, but yeah, it's all interlinked. So yeah, this structure that has been given to us, this sense of fulfillment that has been taken away from us, comes from an internalized image that we are taught when we grew up. So this is where I want to talk about the two sides of the same coin. And that internalized image when we grew up, especially here I'm talking about India, it can be anywhere else also, is that we have been fed a particular idealized image that this is the ideal person you should try to become. This, like, it is fed to us many times. This could be a relative, it could be your sibling, it could be your cousin, it could be anyone, it could be a stranger, but this idea is given to you that this is the person that ideally you should have become, and it is fed to you in such a way that you feel guilty for not becoming that. And for those of you who don't know what is an internalized image, it's like It's like that image has been felt and seen through so many times that you have just accepted that this is the way that things should be, or this is the way that I should become, this is the image that I should be trying to become. It's like the concept of anima. Anima is again the internalized image of the opposite sex. It's like when you grow up talking to people, watching different movies, or interacting with people, you get a like sense of what that ideal woman should look like. That is different for everyone, not women, men also. And we have been given that, like, that is the concept of anima, and anima is the internalized image of the opposite sex. So whoever we try to find, whoever we talk to, we try to find that anima in the person, in the potential people that we're dating, because we believe that we are trying to find that anima, that internalized image, because that internalized image has been felt through, seen through so many times that it has become unconscious. It's like somewhere far below, like far behind in your brain, and it's just been internalized so many times that it's now a part of your unconscious actions. You don't even know that you're trying to search for this particular image in every person that you're trying to date. That is the concept of anima. And similarly, this internalized image is also fed to us when we're taught that this is the ideal person that we should be becoming. So the two sides of the same coin, as I was saying. To you, I think this is left. For me, this is right. But anyways, the first side of the coin is that I am nowhere close to this image, and since I was taught that this is the ideal image that I should be becoming, so they use this as a way to insult us, to punish us, to step over us, and say that since you're not the ideal person that we planted, like obviously they planted that in your head. They could be anyone, and it could be a authority, they could be your family, or whoever it can be, but they are the ones who planted this internalized image of who you should be ideally, this person. And if you are far from this image, the first side of the coin is that if you're far from this image, then you don't deserve to be treated well. You should be insulted, you should be punished, and they should walk over you, because for not becoming the person, because you're not worth anything. That is the first side of the coin. The second side of the coin is on this side, when you actually try to when you're trying to become more and more like that internalized, idealized person that they planted in your head. So in this stage, what happens is you get closer and closer to that internalized image. And since you reach like that stage where you are very close to that image, in fact, you're living that image, now you think you have the privilege to insult the people who are far away from the image. Because when you were in that position, you were insulted, you were pointed fingers at, you were stepped over, and now that you are in that position, you are doing the same. Because according to them, उनकी दुनिया बहुत छोटी है. According to them, there are only two sides of the coin. One who is not chasing that image that was planted inside us, and the second is that you become that person, and now you are stepping over all the person, because now that you have reached closer to this image, you think you have the privilege to step over others, insult others, and to punish others, and to become rude with others, because according to them, when they reach there, the person on the other side, they don't deserve to be respected, because when they were in that position, they were not respected, and they were stepped all over. So why not? And these are the structures that they feed us. And by they, I could mean anyone, authorities, your families, whoever taught you these internalized images that still are running in the background of your head, in the unconscious mind. They taught you that. They gave you these structures that you should be following, because जैसे मैंने बोला, उनकी दुनिया बहुत छोटी है. So they think people can be this or this, like two sides of the same coin. These are two sides of the same coin, nothing else. उनकी दुनिया बहुत छोटी है, उनकी दुनिया बहुत limited है. And most of us are brought up like that. Sometimes we try to escape, but then again we feel guilty about not actively chasing that internalized image that has been put inside of our head. But then again, these are the structures that has been put by someone. These are the shapes that they are trying to put us in to define us. And like Bruce Lee said, he said to be formless, be shapeless. I actually made a post about it. On the top left corner it says, be water, my friend, Bruce Lee. And on the like right side it says, below right side it says, drink water, my friend, Biru. Yeah, I know, it's very creative, I know. Anyways, Bruce Lee said, be formless, be shapeless. And I'm talking about that because these shapes that they try to define us as, they do that to govern us. They do that so that they can rule us. They do that so that we can be easily defined, and when we are getting a little hard to deal with, they can remind us our own shapes, our limitations, our own definitions of ourselves, so that they can put us in line. So these shapes, they can be anything. You could be a triangle, you could be a square, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, whatever. And you think that staying in a structure, even though it is different, you think that staying in a structure would be living your life with possibilities. But again, it is limited possibilities. Even if you upgrade your shape from a triangle, which has 180 degree, right, to a square or a rectangle which has 360 degrees, you think that the angles here, angles means two things. Angle actually means the angle of the closed figure. Angles also means the number of possibilities, perspectives, and the angles that you have over life. And you think that these shapes that they ask us to be is a good thing, because inside of them we can upgrade to different shapes. We can slowly become a triangle with 180 degree, or rectangle or a square with 360 degree, then 540 degree, then 7 something, I forgot. But I was always bad at maths. But anyways, you get the point. They tell us to upgrade our shapes to different sizes and different shapes because it is easier for them to define us, not easier for us to define ourselves. All the great minds that existed before us, they didn't have to think through these structures. They didn't have to think through these human-made limitations and shapes and sizes. They just thought, and they were free. And in a way, we are closed inside these structures because we feed ourselves these delusions that if we keep upgrading our shapes, we might have more possibilities. Sometimes we might even have limitless possibilities, infinite possibilities. But what is the closed structure with infinite number of so many angles that it does not even exist? I think a circle, right? Even inside a circle, even if you have infinite angles and possibilities, it is still closed. You are defined, you're still being defined by a structure that is closed. You're trying to look at how ironic this sounds. Finding infinite possibilities in a closed structure. That is what it is. A circle might have infinite angles and possibilities, but it is still closed. It is nowhere near as full of possibilities as an open figure. As when you give up on this notion of shapes and sizes, these are the things that are used to keep us in line, because these authorities that I'm talking about, it could be anyone, they define us for two reasons. First, like I mentioned, they can define us as who we are and who we should be, and punish us accordingly or reward us accordingly. And second, it is very easy for them to govern us They can define us and they can govern us, and that is the main thing that these shapes provide them with. While these shapes and sizes and structures are good to keep us in a very organized manner, I suppose, but it is not your job to think between these structures, because these are ultimately human made structures. They are not defined by nature at all. They're the structures given by the humans to keep you in a particular way, but you don't have to limit your thinking or be defined by any of these, because you're a human being. You should not be easily defined. If someday you come to a place where you can define yourself completely, then it is the end of line for you. If you define yourself completely as who you should be and who you are, then you don't hold space within yourself to accept new possibilities or situation or events. Life is full of possibilities. It is the very definition of ourselves that humans are concepts. They are not supposed to be easily defined. Now people will try to, these authorities that I'm talking about, they can define us and they can govern us, but that is only for the people who have shapes. If you are formless, if you are like shapeless, if you don't get like defined by these human made structures of humanity, of these human made artificial terms that they give you, and you can think beyond that, then these rules, they cannot be applied to you. The only thing that they can do is they can define you as someone, as a loose person who doesn't go by any definition, who is who is not very serious about something. That is the only way that they can define, because the second thing, which is to govern you, they cannot do that. You're shapeless. That cannot affect you. Even if they do something, even if life does something, you don't hold yourself in a particular position forever. You're shapeless. You don't have a shape. You can escape anything and everything, because you don't focus on the things outside of your control. You focus on the things that are inside of your control. These structures, these human made structures, these are the things that are keeping you caged. You are openly accepting the fact that you should be defined as some kind of shape or some kind of person or some kind of definition that they have come up for you, and you think that yeah, I should be defined by it. Why not? They want me to, and I fit this category. But till when? Humans are concepts. Humans are not like made to be easily defined. Dreams change the next year, goals change the next year. The way you see the world right now might not be the same you do next year. So how is it that they are trying to define us and we are just letting them, because they're trying to keep us trapped in this human made shapes that they have come up for us, and we're just accepting it. The life of humans is not predictable at all, but that is not something to be afraid of. Just because they told you that you should be defined in a shape and kept closed in a closed figure, they're just making us afraid of possibilities of the new things that can be happening to us. And they have done such a good job at defining who we should be and planting this idea in our head that we should always be defined as someone, something, doing something, achieving something, being that and doing this, that anything we do or experience outside of that structure feels like death, feels like the end of life, feels like we cannot accept these new terms and conditions because I have already defined myself. So why are these new possibilities coming to me? Why are they attacking me? Why are they being a threat to me? That is it. Humans are not concepts. Sorry, humans are concepts. Humans are not shapes. They are not supposed to be defined. Humans are concepts. Dreams change every year, goals change every year. The way you look at the world, that changes every year. every time you watch a movie, if like for example, I enjoy watching, if it's yeah, in the month of October I watch Drishyam every year. That is a ritual of mine that I do watch Drishyam. Every time I watch it, my perspective changes. I look at it in a different angle. So how are you so sure that you are to be defined in only a particular way and not allow yourself to see the world in different ways? You are a concept. You are not supposed to be defined so easily. So if you face new possibilities, don't be afraid of them. You're not supposed to be in a structure anyways. It is all human made. You're letting yourself defined by these human made structures, these human made shapes and sizes. And if you really want to be defined, then universe will define you, and universe will only define you in one term. You know what that term is called? A human being.